Okay, guys. I'm here for my first WWE2K26 video. Now, normally, to follow up at about how I do, normally I do my roster video first and I do a DLC thought video first, but the DLC for 2K26, one, is not all out yet because it's rolling out all over the year, and two, it's a bit different. So I figured I'd give my thoughts on this first, which is the Ringside Pass for WWE2K26, which is essentially how the DLC is being handled in the form of what would be considered a Battle Pass. And the only four characters we know that are in Season 1 are AAA themed. El Hijo del Vikingo, Lady Flammer, or for some reason just Flammer in the game. They're not calling her Lady Flammer. Psycho Clown, and Mr. Iguana. Those are four good characters. I do think that Mr. Iguana should actually have been in Tier 1, because that guy is one of the most over AAA characters in this country. And Tier 1 is essentially the closest thing to free you get out of this premium pass, because all you have to do is buy the premium pass and you get the stuff that's in Tier 1. And that's how the free track of it works too. Once you hit a tier, and I know this from the videos I've seen of how this works from the early release footage. Once you hit a tier, everything in that tier is available to be claimed and unlocked. So I can't really give you traditional DLC thoughts about all the characters because I don't know all of them. What I'll do is, once I find out the characters and other things that are in each season of the pass, I'll do that. So, as far as my thoughts on how this is, well, I understand the criticism. A battle pass is more a free-to-play game thing, and it makes sense there because it's a way for a free-to-play game to monetize itself and make money. But 2K26 is a yearly release, and these don't make a lot of sense in yearly releases. But they are they're in sports games, and technically, 2K26 falls under the W2K games kind of sort of fall under sports in a way. I know they're sports entertainment, but in the terms of what this is, they are sports games, or at least sports related games. And they're also very similar to fighting games. But am I going to instantly say this is a bad thing that instantly kills 2K? That's going to kill the franchise? No, because I think the only thing that's actually going to kill this franchise is that there's actually a viable competitor to wrestling games, which WWE does not have, because sadly AEW Fight Forever did not accomplish that. So I'm going to monitor this thing throughout the entire year and see what it goes from there. The only true DLC I can talk about are the pre-order bonuses and all the other stuff, which I'll tack on to the end of this video in terms of the traditional DLC, because that's the closest thing I can talk to about the traditional DLC. As far as how RXP is earned, well, RXP is earned through every game mode, and it's at least 100 for winning a match, but there are ways to get more during the match by doing certain actions and things like that, apparently. So there are ways to get more than that. If it's flat out 100 just for winning the match, not doing anything else, that would average, if every tier is 800, that would average to 8 matches per tier. Now, there's several ways, if you play every mode in this game, to reach 8 matches per tier. Number 1, there's a tournament plus 1 quick play match. There's doing the entire showcase. Universe can have as many matches, I think, can have upwards to 12 to 10 matches in it. At least on PLEs, and I think upwards to 8 on Raw or SmackDown, and I think 6 on NXT, I think. So there's a lot of ways to do this. Now, is it possible that they could change that over the years? Sure it is. It's entirely possible. But from what I've also seen, there is no extra currency attached to this. Like, they don't cost anything. You just buy, you get to the tier, and then you earn those rewards. So there's nothing really extra in here. Also, now you can skip a tier, which you will have to pay for, but in terms of the fact that the seasons in this Ringside Pass don't expire, I don't really know why you would ever need to buy that, personally. I could understand it if they expired, but they don't expire, and you can go back and forth between seasons. So, it is truly you work at your own pace. Now, believe me, I am not justifying this at all. I'm just trying to approach this from a rational, middle-of-the-road kind of thing, which is what I do. So, my real thought is I'm going to wait and see how this actually folds out over the year, and then give a final video about near the end of the year about how I think it actually did. So that's my thoughts on the Ringside Pass. As far as all the pre-order bonuses and the other DLC, that's the traditional DLC. Well, Joe Hendry as the overall pre-order bonus makes some sense. He's been really hot. He's a new to NXT. He's the current NXT champion, so you don't have that problem. You're not going to have that problem anymore. And then there's the rest of the traditional DLC. The King of Kings pack, which is Triple H 98 and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. This is the Attitude Era Stephanie McMahon. That's an okay thing, I guess, even though it's still DLC of people already in the game. But at least with that DX Triple H, you would get the DX theme song without needing anything else. So, there's that. Then there's the Attitude Era pack. Or you could just buy the Attitude Era edition at $130 or whatever it is. But I'm not going to do that. So, that pack consists of Kane from 98, specifically from King of the Ring 98, because it's the King of the Ring 98 attire, which has all his skin but his one hand exposed, which has no skin except for one hand. It's specifically that one from King of the Ring 98. It's China 97, which is the China that debuted as a bodyguard of Triple H. And it's The Rock from 99. That's going to give 3 Rocks 4 if the 97 Rock is in the game or not. Because when they do the full Rock, they don't tell you they don't tell you all the variations of wrestlers unless it's a different gimmick. So, and they don't put all the My Rise characters there. So, what I'm going to do, if I ever get back to it, eventually when I get to smacking the roster down for 2K26, all that will be included. All of them will be included. I haven't gone back to that series in a while because 2K20 would be kind of weird to do because of a lot of things with that. But maybe I'll get back to that at some point. And I believe also you get the Raw is War 98 arena. This is the Raw arena with the small ramp. That was the Raw arena from basically 98 to 01, 02 until Raw changed the arena in 02, but it still kept parts of it. It essentially was the Raw arena that existed for the better half of a decade, just with minor tweaks. So that's an interesting little pack. Again, the China 97 would also have the DX theme song. Then we had the Monday Night War edition pack. Or, which you could just get the Monday Night War edition for $150, digital only for $150. I'm not doing that again. But that pack includes the following items. It includes Macho Man Randy Savage from 98, which is specifically NWO Black and White Randy Savage. Roddy Piper from 1998, Shawn Michaels from 1997, and the WCW Thunder Arena. Now, I have no idea why the Thunder Arena was thrown into a Monday Night War pack. Yes, it aired during that time, but the Monday Night War was between Nitro and Raw. I don't know how Thunder factors into any of that, but the Thunder Arena will be nice to have around as an extra arena. Okay? So, all that, again, it's technically characters already in the game that have been in the game for years now. Without a lot of difference. Although the China 97 is a new model than the one already in the game. So, there's that. That at least it's an actual new model. It's an actual new model. So, now those are all standalone DLC. These packs are all standalone DLC, including the Joe Hendry pack will be a standalone DLC. But so my plan is, and of course, there's every season of the Ringside Pass. If you buy the King of Kings edition or Attitude Era edition, I believe you get seasons 1 through 4. Or the King of Kings edition of season 1, and then the Attitude Era edition of seasons 1 through 4. I do know if you want all of them without having to pay for them, well, after the game releases, because technically you would have to pay for them. That's what you're doing when you buy these editions, is paying for that up front. All 6 of them are included in the Monday Night War edition. And the only other thing about this Battle Pass, about the Ringside Pass, is, watching everything through it, it is actually easier. It's actually going to be easier to do my faction in the island stuff, and get stuff through my faction in the island with this, than through that mode, than through my faction. Because there are nodes, there are things that give you like 10,000 my faction points if you're my faction player. 10,000 my faction points cannot be made up in one. It would take a long time of at least a couple hours to get 10,000 my faction points. At the very least, here it is in a Ringside Pass, which yes, still will take a couple hours of your time or more, depending on how much you play. Now again, I'm not defending that there's a Battle Pass in this game at all, but I do admit that 2K's Season Pass model has been outdated. Their DLC model has been outdated. So, it's that. There's positive and negatives to everything, and I look between that. I don't buy these games for gameplay, roster, or anything like that. I buy these games for creations, always have and always will. So, that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on at least the season, on the Ringside Pass as a whole, and the Season 1 DLC. I guess when they announce Season 2's DLC, Battle Premium Pass, I'll do a video about that. And I'll have a video about the roster in a couple days. If you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there. Thank you for watching. Bye.